Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. A very good morning to one and all who have gathered here. Am I audible?
Yes, voice is clear.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for that brief introduction. Good morning, everybody. Once again, it's a great opportunity from my side to meet you guys, everybody over here after a long time. Well, today's topic is very simple, but yet it's a complicated, at the same time, a very broad topic. This was part of me for quite a long time. It's an ongoing effort. It's an ongoing process, self-growth. Everybody love to grow for ourselves, right? And we look forward for our own progress, our own, improvement. And we keep going with many plans. But this topic is mainly focusing on, sometimes we do lag, right? We do step down also. Maybe due to various reasons. It may be because of health or family or career busy or anything it may be. So we may have the graph as going up and down. So, and there's a point there where we should not be held up in that lower ebb of that graph. So how we are going to come up again? Okay, that is the question. And life is not a straight line that we know. It has its own ups and downs. So when we go down, how are we going to pull ourselves up? And what makes us to stay down? All these introspection has made me to bring up this topic in front of you. All the credits of the education which I got through the system goes to the system, to our beloved Guru, Sri Vedatri Maharishi, and to my masters who are gathered here. Thank you so much. Let us start the topic. Self-growth is an ongoing effort. We should not let ourselves down at any point of time, particularly when it comes to the areas which I'll share with you all later. And let's see how we are supposed to go with our own self-growth, okay? Today's agenda is, I'm just going to say why we have to grow and what is growth all about. Change versus growth, and growth, why is it so difficult sometimes? And there are various zones of life where we have to grow. At the same time, we do get ourselves hooked or struck in some of the zones as well. So how are we going to relieve ourselves and what is the effect of it? How our system helps us in understanding where we are and how to go about it. And what are Maharishi's tools to reach higher state in life? And what is Maharishi's opinion through his poem about the growth in life? Okay. So what is growth? Growth is there in our life, in everything and in every place. This is what I understand. Okay. Well, let us take when we seed a small sapling, we expect it to grow as a beautiful plant or a tree, right? And whenever we do make investments, we definitely expect it to grow high, right? And of course, when we work, we always expect our salary to grow high. We expect for promotion in our workplace. We expect for career growth in our workplace and with us. And we expect for children growth in their physical as well as mental activity. So growth is everywhere. Not only that, even sometimes we also expect the country should perform well, the GDP should go high. Particularly, we don't expect growth in one area or two area, which I remember is mainly on our weight, maybe, yes. And the other area where we don't expect the growth is the price hike, right? Inflation should not grow up. So these are the areas where we don't expect growth. But whereas in other areas of our life, we definitely expect some or the other way a growth in our life. Okay, can I post a question? Just I would like everybody to answer over the chat. What is growth in your opinion? In general, what is growth? I would like everybody to do some, give me some answer over the chat. Anybody? No? Don't know what is growth? Are we not growing? Better than yesterday. Great. Yes. Success. Yes. Success alone will not define growth, right? Become better day by day. Yes. Great. Yes. In all areas of life, right? Not only in one area. Better in right direction. Yes. Absolutely. Anything else? How do we see growth as in our life? Growth is evidence only if there's one more chat. Give me a minute. Increase in happiness. Yeah, sure. Okay. Growth is only evidence to us when we see when there is a life. If there is a life, there is definitely a growth. And if there is growth, you can see life in it for sure. So this is what is growth is all about. No matter what area it is, whether it is a career, whether it is a health, whether it is a relationship, whether it is spiritual growth, or whether it is a economical or financial growth, whatever it may be. If you put life into those areas, development and everything from our lesson learned. Yes, Mr. Rayana, correct. Okay. So growth is only the one you will be able to see the growth if you put life into those areas, if you put your energy into those areas, if you are alive, yes, you need to grow. If there is a life, yes, there need to be a growth over there. If somebody is not growing, that means they are some vegetable and they just stay there for some time and get perished. That's what is understandable from growth. Okay. So if you're alive, we have the responsibility to grow in the areas where we are focusing, and particularly in the spiritual arena. Okay. So what is next is how we can see the growth in our life. Okay. In general, as I told you, when we grow a small sapling of a plant, if we see it growing up, yes, the appearance of that particular living thing is showing you that it is growing, right? So it's similarly, we do have other areas where we can see the growth. Somebody, maybe a child or your sister or your friend, if there is some good progression is shown in their relationship, yes, we can see that there is a visibility of growth in that relationship. And of course, when we put our time and focus and energy in things which we do, there will be definitely a growth in those areas where we can see that there is a visibility in those areas. Okay, like example, if we put our time and energy in our health and take care of it, we are going to see there is a visibility in our health. We may glow, we may grow healthy by maintaining our correct weight and all our physical parameters. Everything will fall in right place. So there again, you will be able to see the growth. So what exactly is happening there is a change. Okay, growth is a phenomena and change is another phenomena. So only if there is a change, we can see the growth. Sometimes where my anger is reduced and there is a change, and that lowering your anger becomes a growth for your personality. So if any point in any areas of life, whether it is going to go up or go high, it is considered, if it is a negative area and if it is going down, and then again it is called as a growth. These are all simple terms which you already know, right? Still, I would like to explain more on this. The simply where we can see is a total metamorphosis of this particular butterfly cycle. This is a very simple lesson which we learn in class 4 or 5, right? So what happens here is the small egg which is on the leaf of laid by the butterfly becomes a caterpillar, which is again a big leap of jump from a egg to a caterpillar. And this caterpillar happily sits on those leaves and keep eating and eating and eating and eating for nearly more than 10 to 12 days, and then get into a cocoon, which is called as a pupa, and where it goes through a lot of transformation. This is a simple lesson we learn from the nature, and how this small egg transforms itself into a beautiful caterpillar, and then it goes and hides itself into that cocoon, which goes through a lot of transformation inside, and then it emerges into an adult butterfly, which is a beautiful one, and survives there, and it goes back. So this is how we can see the changes or the various stages of our life. We can see such stages even in our life, where we keep evolving, where sometimes where we keep like the caterpillar, we keep getting the attention only to our senses, and we keep going, and there will be a time where we have to hide ourselves into the cocoon and stay there and get ourselves transformed and then emerge as a butterfly. And this is not one time happening. This kind of metamorphosis, this kind of change happens in our life every now and then, right? Sometimes we are very happily flying like a butterfly. Sometimes we have to hide ourselves inside the cocoon. We have to emerge ourselves into with a better learning, and then again bloom as a fly as a butterfly and go and enjoy our life. So this is how our life is all about. And if there is a change in a good way, as somebody was messaging me, if there is a change in a good direction, yes, that is called as a growth. Whether it is increase or decrease, it doesn't matter what area it is and how we go about in those areas. That is called as that only leads to the growth. So any change which you come across is considered as growth in the right direction. Okay, why there is sometimes the growth is so very difficult for us? Why it is difficult for us? Have you all have anybody of you all have experienced such difficult times where you struggle yourself about not having any growth, or do we really identify are we growing or not? Such introspection is there or not part of us? These are all questions. Okay, why such thing happens? What happens to us? This we may come across. I have come across within myself. Before joining the system, and also after joining the system as well. There are certain areas of our life where we happily don't even think about those areas. It may be very important also, but still we will not be thinking about those areas also, and we still go about with our life, leading our life, taking our life and doing. And later part, when we try to introspect, that is only this is out of my experience I'm saying after getting into the system, and we try to introspect in various areas of life where we see one area is not at all improved at all, no growth at all, it is stagnant, and other area would have been improved. So this is how where we focus only where we will be improving, right? So this is how the life is going about. So that is one of the reason why the growth is getting difficult. So in my experience, what I went through is we generally get into the comfort zone in those areas. Say, for example, it's always very comfort to happily sleep in the morning without getting up for meditation or exercise. So it's one example, simple example, which I'm saying. And if we happen to get very much into that comfort zone, yes, Mr. Surya, resistance to change is natural in human. Growth is change. Hence, growth is not easy. Yes, absolutely correct, Mr. Surya. This is a message he has written down in the chat. Okay. Yes, we tend to get settled in that comfort zone and not willing to come out of that comfort zone. It may not be only the physical exercise. It may be in many areas. Sometimes the habit of we eating the same food also becomes a comfort zone, and it may not give us a good result in our health. Sometimes getting along with only one section of people alone is also a comfort zone, where you get socially getting only with those people, whereas you ignore the other kind of areas, which actually will give you a good network and give good growth in your life as well. But what we do is we try to settle with only with our group of people, our understanding, and no, don't never try to come out of that comfort zone. Some places also make us very much comfortable, and we'll never tend to move out of that place. We do have our own comfort zone even at our home. This is my living area. This is where I sit. Okay, I do fight with my children. This is my place. Why do you sit there? Get up. Okay, so even in the bed, we have our own comfort zone to sleep. If you change the place, we will not be able to sleep. All these small things are also comfort zones only. So these are the reasons why we get into this difficult phase, why the growth becomes difficult for us. Okay, we feel safe and comfortable. That's what I said. Even with a group of people, we feel safe with them. We feel comfortable with them. They understand us, or they know us, know our temperament, and it needs no explanation over there. In all those places, what we do is we feel like sitting over there and not willing to move out of that place. Mostly when our needs are met, we never tend to grow. Needs in sense, the food, clothing, and living. I mean, the food, clothing, and the place to live is given. Then we don't tend to move out of that comfort zone. Everything is under our control. If the remote is in our access means, then we don't tend to get up from our place to change whatever we want. So it makes one very much disinterested in learning or doing anything new in life. So that's where, when you don't do new, when you don't learn new, when you don't see good new people, when you don't go to new places, when you don't do anything which is going to give you a good direction, then of course you are sitting in that comfort zone. So this need to be identified every now and then through our introspection. Next is they just stay and do the same thing again and again, same kind of food cooking. Sometimes even I do have a schedule. That week schedule will be repeated the next week also. So if I do one dosa for Monday and Wednesday, the next week also Monday and Wednesday also dosa. So this kind of just staying and trying to find trying to do whatever we know alone will make you also stick to that comfort zone. Not learning anything new will make you to stick to the comfort zone. We are just content and happy. Yes, of course we are happy, but often we pretend to do so. It is a bit of boring as well to stay in comfort zone. But what to do? We just hide ourselves in that comfort zone and we pretend as though this is good, this is giving us happiness. But in actual fact, when you move out of the comfort zone and when you move to the other zones, you will find the difference between staying in that comfort zone and moving to the other zone. Then the real happiness will be felt. Whereas this contempt and happiness is without any growth. If you move out of it, the other kind of comfortness, where in the other zones, which I'll explain to you later, you will find yourself more happy than where you are in the comfort zone. Okay. And then what happens is there is no planning. That's also one of the reasons where the growth is hindered. You normally, if you don't have any plans, that means you're planning to fail. That's one of the quotes which I used to go through every now and then with my children. If you're not planning, that means you are settling in that comfort zone about not planning. You're just taking up things which comes to you, and finally there will not be any growth, right? So no new goals, no new learnings, no new beginnings, and hates challenges. This becomes the characteristic of people or us staying in that particular comfort zone. I have gone through this. See, many times what we do is, if we don't learn in that area, if say for example, health, or example, say in my career, I'm just sticking with whatever is there, and but whereas the area of that particular career for maybe take a medical field, or maybe take a legal field, or let it be the accounting standards or the IRAS, the anything. It keeps evolving, it keeps changing, and policies change, and new rules come in, and new set of standards are there. Medical field has gone up to various areas, and how are we going to catch up if you're just going to sit in that particular area which and keep doing the same thing, and there is no new learnings, no new improvement in those areas, no new, you're not trying to improve yourself, or you're not trying to get the access to what has been changed, then what will happen to us is we become outdated. Okay, but still we ignore all these hard works. Maybe we lack time, we don't plan our time to get ourselves learned in those new areas. Okay, so these are the reasons which actually makes us to get stuck in this comfort zone. This becomes a big stagnancy, and you become sluggish in those areas. I will not say that in other areas they are also sluggish. No, there are people where they're very good in relationship. They maintain the relationship, they maintain their family and go. But whereas in career they may not do well. They may be very good in doing the career, or they may be lagging in relationship, or they may be doing very good in relationship but lagging in their health, or they'll be doing in all these areas very good, but financially they may not be doing a very good plan. So, or they may be very good doing in relationship, finance and career and relationship, health, everything, but totally zero in spiritual. So these are, I will not say everybody is sticking to the comfort zone in all areas. No, we do progress in some of the other areas, but we do get very much comfortable staying in one particular comfort zone. So we do have to think and analyze ourselves. This becomes a brain fog. Sometimes overworking also will never let us to think what we are supposed to do next. We keep and the stress level which we go through, lack of sleep, it gives a brain fog, and we don't know where is the direction. And when we don't know the direction, we stand in the same place and finally end up with sticking with the comfort zone. Often these kind of people will be characterized by confusion, forgetfulness, lack of focus, and mental clarity. We cannot go for some advice to them, or we cannot give them if you are in that zone, then we are not eligible to give that advice or guidance to even to our children. So we need to seriously work on this comfort zone. We need to analyze what are the areas of my comfort zone. For some it may be food, for some it may be clothing, the way they carry themselves. For some it may be they wear the same color dress. It is being generally understood that they are simple. Okay, but that's not the case. They feel like sticking, they don't want to change themselves to the latest trend or fashion. I'm not saying that we have to come out and dress up like a celebrity who are up to the fashion, but still life is there for us to enjoy. Why not we come out and dress up nicely, or maybe in the areas of spirituality where they don't practice. And if some, I have heard some of the people saying, if you happen to get into the spirituality, there's a lot of difficulties you'll be facing in life. Okay, this is one of the comment I used to get from some of my friends. If I happen to pull them towards spirituality, they saying if you're getting into spirituality, then you'll be facing a lot of difficulties in life. I used to say, see, even if you don't come, you'll be facing it, but maybe later, but maybe early, but you will not know how to go about dealing with those difficulties. That's what I used to convince them and bring about. So what I mean to say is, if you're not having clarity in those areas, and if you're trying to stick with that comfort zone, you're not going to grow. So let's see what is the next growth. Okay, what is the next zone? Next zone is actually the fear zone. What happens in fear zone is, here people lack the self-confidence, not happy, not very clear about what that particular area, and they get into the fear of failure, and they find a lot of excuses which actually pulls them back from, even if they step down from the comfort zone, step up from the comfort zone, they do get caught in this fear zone and they say no and they go back again to the comfort zone. This happens even with us many times. Particularly for me, if you take into account what happens is, like, sometimes I'm not very comfortable with people. I'm scared whether they may hurt me or I may hurt them, or am I not aligning with their thought pattern? Am I supposed to follow them? Are they correct? Are they wrong? These kind of questions, these kind of fear. Will I be put into a different thought pattern, or will I be put into a different kind of lifestyle? Am I supposed to get along or not? These kind of questions I do get if I happen to meet with new people. And ignorance and fear of expressing myself to them. These are all the reason where I don't network much. Okay, and so again, I'll get into the comfort zone about gathering with my own set of people and not mingling and not networking other people. So this, you may also put yourself in this area and see where exactly you are lagging and where exactly is your fear is all about. Particularly if there is a fear, then definitely we need to work on that particular area first, because when you're fearing, you're not learning out of it. You're trying to get into the comfort zone and not able to move out of that particular fear, and it will go on. It will be keep going on in life, and at the end of the day, when we think about, oh, I should have done this, these kind of regrets will be there. And another one more thing is they are being affected by other people's wrong examples, particularly if they happen to see somebody is failing in some by investing in some field, some funds or anything. These people think, even if I do, I will also fail. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so by getting into a wrong influence, or learning that even I will face the same thing. See, everybody life is not the same. What they experience, we may not be experiencing. We will have a different set of experience for sure, and what knowledge they have in those fields differs from what we have in those fields. So we need to analyze. No need to get scared about it. We need to think. We don't have to get influenced by other people's experience, right? So fear of taking risk is one of the reason where we don't step out of the comfort zone. Risk in sense in all the areas, whether it comes to money or health or career or whatever it may be. If we are not taking risk, then we are not going to learn out of that area what is the ups and downs. But we can make a very calculated risk and go about learning in those areas. Then fear of challenges, that is, you feel insecure, you feel there is no support for you, you feel there is no backup for you, and in that areas where we'll never we go out of our comfort zone. This I came across after coming down to Qatar, where we are being forced to stick in one particular employment, right? So where what happens is we feel insecure about moving out of that organization. Even if we don't like, we just get settled over there and get I don't know. We cannot blame the country. This is their system, and but still, what are the other areas I can focus on my career and improve in other ways? That's the question need to be done. We don't have to sabotage ourselves by staying in that particular place and killing our efficiency and staying there. We can definitely think about take a like a survey, take an analysis, and see where I can go about making my improvement, and also impress my workplace, where I make the place interesting. That's how we have to go about doing that, right? And procrastination, it's also another reason where we keep staying in that fear zone. Settling for anything less, not having any higher aim, whatever that, it's a kind of contempt. See, we can get content with whatever we have in our life, whatever we get in our life, but at the same time, we have to strive, we have to aim for more higher. I'm not saying go run for money, but still the growth need to be there, at least as somebody was better than yesterday, better than today. What is my health condition yesterday? What is my BP level yesterday? What is my how many steps did I walk yesterday? Wow, how many I'm going to do now? So don't settle anything for less. or don't stay in the same line. At least if you're in the same line, you're safe. But if you're going to step down, yes, it's gone. Then we are less perseverant. If we fail, then that becomes the end of that particular area. We never go and attempt to it again. We don't give ourselves, we don't plan ourselves to go for that area again. So these are the areas where we keep getting scared of about facing the failure again, and we keep settling with that particular and get into the comfort zone, danger comfort zone again. Then want of retaining societal status, that is in sense like, this is my status. I have this. If I take a risk, then I may come down from this particular societal status. What people will think about me, giving opinion, giving more importance for other people's life, and you are not doing what you are supposed to do. And what is your growth about it? This also will help you to. This also will make you to get stagnant in one place, and this gives you a lot of fear about moving out to other areas and exploring those areas, and in a good way. We need to analyze, even if we are moving out of our comfort zone, then we need to analyze, is this going to do good to me or not? So, okay. So often influenced by wrong examples, as I told you, if somebody fails, it doesn't mean we have to fail in those areas, right? What they may not have the background, they may not have the experience, they may not have right guidance, but it's not a must that we also will go through the same experience. And lack of self-analysis, that's what I said. If we don't analyze ourselves, if we don't know what we are doing, if the planning is not there, you will still stick with that fear zone, and you will be sitting in that comfort zone only. And easily we get succumbed to the negativity and move out of the with that fear. We don't step forward, but we just move the other side of comfort zone and sit there. And lack of self-confidence and disbelief on universe, that is the lack of faith on the universe. The universe has all the answers. If we sit in the meditation, and if we focus on our goals, and if we give the universe a message, and it will be definitely be answered. But if you don't believe in it, if you don't believe in that particular the super energy, then it is not going to give you the courage or the guidelines or the intuitions for move out of that fear zone. Okay, so what happens is next is, and they suffer and go through a lot of pain sitting in that particular comfort zone itself. Okay, and there is no spiritual search happened, and if they tend to settle down in that comfort zone, they do suffer and they do go through the pain, but that becomes a habitual for them, and they don't go in search of any help, or they don't try to tend to work on themselves, and they get struck with that particular spiritual place, and they don't move out and search for anything. That becomes the norms of that fear zone. What is next is out of comfort zone becomes the learning zone. This is more interesting, and this is the transition which we need to move out of our comfort zone, deal with challenges and problems. We do get a lot of confidence by stepping out of. Only if you have confidence, you will be moving out. But if you have the courage to face the failure, if you have the courage to take the risk, the calculated risk about not losing anything, then you move out of this particular fear zone and move to the learning zone. The learning zone is absolutely, we need a lot of confidence, a lot of patience, a lot of endurance, and we will be falling down, we will be moving down from our craft. Then we need to pull ourselves up and come down to the learning zone again, and keep learning, keep going, and the perseverance is more required in this particular area. And we have to pull ourselves, work on our introspection, and work on our self-introspection, and see what we are thinking each and every minute, and pull ourselves from that fear zone, and keep learning, and keep going. Okay, and action is initiated in this particular area. We will not only do planning, we will start acting on those plans once we step into this. And we acquire new skills in this area. Learning mode will be on. You will it is just a spark. If you start actioning on your plans, and once it's started, and if you really have that mental strength to face the fear of failing, face the failures in your life, then you will not be bothered about moving on again and again in that learning zone. You will, that fear will be gone out of your head, and you will be moving on. As Sometimes Muthu used to say, what is going to happen? Am I going to die or what by doing this? No, we are not going to die. The loss is not our life. It is maybe some material stuff. So no problem. Why can't we take the leap and go about doing the learning? What is the problem in it? So that's how the courage need to be strengthened over there. And our system plays a major role in these areas where the meditation gives you that mental strength about working on yourself. And our introspection also gives us a lot of areas of improvement in ourselves. Okay, so this is a very interesting and at the same time a very challenging zone, and where you need to be very perseverant, and you have to balance the societal status and the self goal, where you don't have to like give up on this societal status. Okay, Gunjan Lakhani says, whenever we fail, if we try something new, we should not feel that we didn't got anything. Learning is the gift universe bless us with always when we try something new. Absolutely, Ms. Gunjan. Yes, the learning is the biggest asset. That only is the steps in your growth of your life. Okay. Absolutely, what you told is correct. So what I mean to say, the balance between the societal status and the self goal need to be there. Not at any point of time. Don't compromise on your self goal. At the same time, you don't have to step down from your societal status, but you don't have to explain everything to the society. This is the reason I'm doing. We don't have to justify ourselves. If you are justifying, if you are following the duty, morality, and if you are going about doing that, then there is no explanation needed for this, for us to give to the society, provided you don't represent some wrong doings. Okay, in that way, yes, we need to do a check on that. So that's the reason I said balance. We need to balance the societal status with our self goal, and we learn lessons out of just as like how Ms. Gunjan said. Yes, we learn out of our bad examples. That lesson is more important, and we should not repeat the same thing again and again. We need to keep watching what the results it's produced. Okay, and self-analysis, we have to, this is a must. Self-analysis is a must. Okay, at least once in a week. People try to send by the end of the day, but sometimes it's too much to do at the end of the day. Only one analysis is required, whether I'm happy or not today, and what is the reason for my unhappiness. That one analysis is enough at the end of the day, I believe. But the self-analysis in all the areas like relationship, physical, or my societal status, or my financial growth, or my spiritual growth, what am I? This analysis need to be done every week. Okay, so a lot of faith and belief on the universe you will be, if you throw your request to the universe, and if you work for it, you have to work. Okay, just not throw and go. We have to work. Then the universe will give you the direction, will give you the intuition, will give you the people, will put you in the right direction and with the right people. Okay, and learn out, of course, as I said, we learn out of our mistakes, and we endure the pain. We don't get scared of pain. We love that pain, and we outgrow that, and that gives us a lot of confidence in our life. Definitely, once we start connecting with the universe, you are spiritually already inclined, and to strengthen that particular connectivity, we have a lot of exercises in our system, like silence, and how to keep ourselves with more energy by doing our exercises, by doing our biomagnetic exercises. So you will be spiritually, you will find a way where how I can keep going in this learning, how I can keep my graph up in this learning zone. Okay, and of course this is a pupa stage where you go and hide yourself inside that cocoon. Hiding in sense, you are going the metamorphosis, the change, the transformation, and that will not stop you from evolving into a beautiful butterfly for sure. That is, you are not going back to that caterpillar stage. You are inside that particular area where the learning happens, where you do face the problems with good problem solving skills, you with good decision making skills, and it's a beautiful place to grow. And this is the permanent, this should be our permanent place, not the comfort zone. We should be able to get comfortable with this particular learning zone, then we will never go into that old danger comfort zone where we don't grow at all. If you are comfortable about in staying in the learning zone, then that is where the growth is all about. That is where the peak will come and go every now and then. Okay, in your graph of success. So the final zone is the growth zone. Growth zone is this particular picture. Somebody shared with me a long time ago through WhatsApp, or somebody had it as a DP. I really it was inspiring me. Like when we start analyzing ourselves, in what areas I'm facing the fear, in what areas I'm comfortable with, which is not letting me to grow. Uh, uh, that kind of introspection started happening once I saw this particular picture, and the introspection was spreaded, like I started doing in various areas of life. And of course, I will not say that I'm up to the peak in all the areas, but of course, but there is definitely an improvement where I'm sure that I'm not into that comfort zone. Because if I'm feeling comfort in any zone, I do check, am I doing the right thing or not? Am I growing or not? In which area am I comfortable with the learning zone, or am I comfort with that comfort danger zone? This question is there. Am I going to stay there without doing it, or am I going to? That question arises once we start doing that learning zone. So try to be always on the learning zone. The growth zone is automatically is part of your life. It keeps going like sunshine on a daily basis. Your purpose is the finding purpose in your life. You will have a purposeful life. Your dreams will be coming true, and the goals, you'll be accomplishing your goals and be setting new goals. And it's not objectives, it's conquering obstacles, if I'm not wrong. Okay, there will be a mental clarity. You become more focused in your life, find the purpose in our life, live our dreams, and the goals achieved and new goals, and journey ongoing with great enthusiasm. That is more important. The journey is on. Whether you are going or not, the journey is already there. Okay, but how you go through the journey is more important. So it becomes more enthusiastic only when you are in the learning zone, and when you start realizing yourself in the growth zone. Okay. Okay, thank you, Gunjan. And you conquer all the obstacles. Okay, so this is a very beautiful area of our life. Keep ourselves in the learning zone and go about. Okay, and yes, of course, we are self-motivated and we motivate others also. We set us as a good example for others, and we become very charismatic. There are many people in our system who just by their words are very charismatic. You may be knowing about them. Many are there in our system. I don't have to list them. And they are fine examples for us to follow them and keep going. And we are happy and we keep spreading happiness. See, when there is an enthusiasm in whatever we do, then definitely what we spread is only enthusiasm and happiness, nothing else. So it is a very beautiful area of our life. Put yourself, put the like physical health, mental health, my spiritual health, my spiritual growth, my relationship, my financial, my relationship with children. Or you can categorize yourself in various areas and see, am I doing the meditation on a daily basis? Where am I in that? Why am not doing it? Am I fearing about anything, or am I getting to the lazy comfort zone? Where am I? So these kind of, you can categorize all your goals in this particular thing and keep growing. Okay. You become an action oriented and goal focused, not only planning. You become you started, once you start actioning, the magic happens. The universe watches you, what you attract, what you want to do, and what you're trying, then it gives you the direction in that angle. Okay. And you become very resilient in sense that is, even if there is a slip, when you slip down from any areas, we don't get to tend to get upset. We gain the focus again. We see what is the lesson we learn out of there, and we keep moving on. We don't get stuck in one place and not growing. We keep moving. That is what is resilient is all about. Okay. So how to come out of comfort zone? Don't, as somebody told me, don't resist change. Yes, change is inevitable in sense it is natural. You cannot stop any change. Change is the only thing which is permanent in this universe, right? So we need to understand why this change happened to me, why I lost my job. This, for example, I'm saying, why I lost my job. If you are going to put a question and resist that particular thing which happened in your life, then it is not going to help us. How a 2-sense insect is able to do, why it is moving from that comfortable caterpillar stage to a pupa and going into the transformation and becoming a butterfly. When a 2-sense insect is able to do, why a 6th-sense man cannot do, we will also be able to do if we give a try to it. Okay. And as Maharishi has told us, we are moving into the increased faith, developed intellectuals, and strive for perfection. That is the last philosophy, 3 philosophies of Maharishi's, or whatever he has given to us out of the 12. The last 6 philosophy, those points are only for the human, or only for the man. Okay. We with only with 6th sense will be able to understand our virtues and our how about going about improving ourselves, improving our knowledge and attain perfection. So we need to enforce this. When a small caterpillar has that intellectual to move into that particular pupa and evolving into a butterfly, we with 6th sense, why not we move, why not we take why not we listen to that intellectual, which is with the consciousness which is speaking within us? Why not we work on that faith and intellectuals and strive towards the perfection? Why we slip away from our duty and morality? Why? No, so these kind of questions we need to often keep putting, and there is a lot of guidelines in our system, and which keeps us aligned and keep moving in that particular learning zone. Then the purpose of life. See, first we need to understand where we come from. We need to go there. That is the purpose of life. This is what is being taught to us by our masters. And this is what is our system teaches us. The purpose, ultimate purpose, is to realize the self and realize the godliness and keep and attaining that, become that, right? That is the ultimate purpose. So where am I struck in that? Avoid that stagnancy. Don't get stuck anywhere. That is what, don't get comfortable in that comfort zone and stay there and become stagnant. We need to embrace the change, what the change is happening to us, and understand why it is happening, what I can do about making that change as a very beautiful thing, and enjoy that transformation. And definitely the learning zone and growth zone will be a very happy process in our life. So listen to that consciousness, what it is directing us. After the meditation, do that introspection, which will definitely give you a clarity about where am I stuck and what am I supposed to do. Okay, so we with 6th sense can create the change. We don't have to succumb ourselves and get struck in that change. Okay, see, in certain areas we need to get along with that change, where beyond our control, it is nature's play, and we need to understand why that such thing happen, and but not get dull or don't get upset about it and stay there, but we can create a change from there. How am I going to respond to that particular situation gives us all the growth all about. Okay, cooperate and adapt to the change. This quote was actually drawing my attention. It says, it's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is most adaptable to change survives. Here, I'm not talking about survival. Here, I'm talking about growth. See, those who are able to adapt to the change, not only survive, they grow. That is more important. So I believe in the ability to create the change. We have the ability to create the change and make that as our life and keep going with it. Okay. What is next is changes. That's what I said. Change. We cannot change the change. Change is it is there already. We have to understand that why there is a change, and the growth is optional. How we responding to that change is more important. Don't react. How you respond. Are you responding to it positively, or are you responding to it negatively? That only is going to create your change. How you are going to respond to it and take the change in a positive way and create your life, that is going to bring a ultimate growth. The simple example where we can see this thin man looking at that well-built one wants to become like him. Okay, and he is so much like uh, his face shows that he wants that kind of physical fitness, but this is what is he can change. See, this is where the growth is optional for him. Either he can go along with that thin personality and go about, or he can answer his dream, okay, by bringing it that growth in his life where he can work on himself and become one like this. Okay, so this is just a simple example. Like to so this is how we can create our own change in the areas where we really can. There are certain areas where we cannot work on, okay, but still there are a lot of possibilities. We can accept that particular give things given to us which we cannot change, and see what we can do better to change ourselves in those areas and go about. That is what we are required to hear. That's what our spiritual growth will giving us, the intuitions which gives to us. Okay, growth. So now put together is summarize. I'm trying to summarize. Change is very much inevitable. Change, we cannot do anything about it. It is, to some extent, it is out of our control. But growth is optional. How you respond to determines your growth. Okay, the comfort zone. This is growth zone. That's what we saw, right? Get uncomfortable with that comfort zone. Conquer your fear. Enjoy that learning zone, which is actually it is actually work in progress. WIP, life is always work in progress only. So extend your comfort zone to growth zone. You cannot stay in growth zone always. Growth zone should go to only the learning zone, not to that fear zone and comfort zone. We should always stay in the green area of learning zone. That is where the real life is all about. And what are the tools which is given to us by our system? Beautiful. By doing the meditation, we exactly get that mental strength about getting rid of that fear and going into that learning zone. Okay, and we will not get scared about what we face in the society. What we are we going to fail, or are we going to lose the material which we gathered? All this fear will be out of us. And introspection, which is actually an ongoing self-analysis, is very, very, very important tool given to us. Silence clears all your mental fogs. The brain fog is cleared. You do get a clarity about where your life is heading. What am I supposed to do with my people around? Where is my goal? And it gives a very much clarity, mental strength. By doing silence, you do gain all these good things. And the three virtues which keeps us not harming others and not harming ourselves, either now or in future, will definitely, you are practicing over there the cause and effect. If you don't harm yourself or others today, your life is going to be happy tomorrow. And the duty, categorized duty to self, then to the family, and then to the society, and then to then to your people, relatives and friends, and then to the society. So this particular segregation of duty, and without compromising, if we start planning our life, then definitely there is absolute growth in our life. And of course, the faith and the understanding and the striving towards perfection. There is no end to it. It is an ongoing. It is a lifelong process which we have to keep going about, and which will definitely move you out of that particular fear zone and comfort zone. And practicing gratitude, this is very, very, very important. This part of karma yoga, we should first be thankful for all the good stuffs we have. Most of us over here are able to speak more than 3 languages, and most of us are blessed to stay in such a place where we have all the amenities. Most of us are should be happy to have this particular spiritual progression in our life. We do get the lessons. We do go about doing all these classes. We are blessed. So just be thankful. Once you start expressing thanks, there is no complaint at all in our life, and we keep going. Even if there is a complaint, we don't see it as a complaint. We'll see what is next we can do about that particular drawbacks or complaint in our life. We don't take that as a serious and get stuck in that particular comfort zone. Ayana Chala says Kaya Kalpa as well. Absolutely. All exercises. I did not speak anything about exercises in general. I just told physical health. Yes, all our exercises, we are blessed. Okay. And so this is how the growth happens. Yeah. Maharishi says in one particular passage from our the Blossoms of Life, the book called Blossoms of Life, where if you want to move up in life, if you want a good state in life, then one need to practice cause and effect and limits and methods in our life. These two are very important for us to progress up in our life. Okay, there's one more poem which is in Tamil, which I try to explain in English. What he says is he moved a step ahead. Okay, see, the transformation is for the self, but the reformation is for the society in a larger scale. Okay, to the world. How we to bring change in self by changing the behavior from bad to good. That is called as reformation. Okay, so one need to feel that change. That reformation need to be felt. Okay, understood and accept that reformation, and it should be part of our life. It should be us. That change. That is, say for example, if somebody is addicted to smoking or to drugs, they need to understand why they have to move out of it. Feel that change. Understand why I have to move. Accept why I have to transform. And when they bring about that change, that becomes a reformation, and no more stepping back into that comfort zone about doing bad stuff. So this is an example I'm saying. So that's how that reformation should be felt as part of life. Reformation in small things in a structured and step-by-step method should become part of our life, he says. And it has to be in such a way that it do not distract other people's life as well as your life, and it should bring growth. That is the real reformation, he says. And it is our responsibility, people like us who are growing in this spiritual arena, who are being guided by many expertise in this area in our system. We have the sole responsibility to give this particular reformation to the people who are trying to come up, who are trying to change themselves. So that's what he says. In order to bring reformation among people, a reformative method is required. And such reformative method is Maharishi already given us. The formula is there. Only thing we need to execute that formula in our life. And we do have the guidance of people in our system to keep moving in this area. So let's march towards such transformation and reformation. Transformation is ongoing, and once we know how to go about, we can give that formula to everybody, make the next generation one step ahead about dealing with all these comfort zones. Now, recently, still children are into the comfort zones, and we need to let them know how to move out of it. Even if they are happy, that is not a comfort zone. They have to check themselves. Am I happy? Why am I happy? Am I settling with it? No. We need to get uncomfort with our comfort zone. This is a formula which I learned. So is change is equal to self-improvement. Push yourself to places you haven't been before, and that gives a lot of learning, lot of growth, a lot of exposure, and we can definitely enjoy life. Thank you so much. Okay, CNE can be said as change and experience. So it is CNE is a short form which we used to use in our system as cause and effect, ma'am. We don't say it as change and experience. Yes, you can have any abbreviation, that's not an issue, but CNE as per us is cause and effect, ma'am. Thank you so much for giving the opportunity, and I really enjoyed sharing this particular self-growth with everybody. I hope we all move on and stay in that living zone and do many stuffs and enjoy our life. Thank you so much.